Hey, what's up guys, it's me AlanMissingno, and today we're going to be going over Searknight Team Builder. Now, Searknight has a fire metal typing, and if you ever played against like a Pyrelin or something like an Infernix or a Krakaloa in a previous meta, you know that fire is one of the best defensive typings in the game, which is why we're going to be running very clever, clumsy, sluggish. For item, we're going to be running Health Amulet to give us recovery. You can also run Milkshake on other teams since Health Amulet is one of the most contested items in the game, but since we're going to be swapping the Searknight in a lot, the Health Amulet is actually going to give us more net HP over the course of the game. For our ability, we're going to be running Awakening. We're going to want to use the Searknight to counter things like Eclipse, things like Nevermare, things like Sea Drake. And for Sea Drake specifically, if you do run Terrifying, you will actually give it a melee attack boost instead of a drop, since it does have that contrary ability. So we're going to be running Awakening just for that little extra damage on our dual stabs. For our moves, we're going to be running Slapdown, Flaming Kick, Searing Steel, Barbs. Slapdown is going to allow us to remove those items, and then Flaming Kick and Searing Steel are going to be our dual stabs. And then we're going to be running Barbs. Pyrelin is one of the best ranged walls in the game right now, but something that Pyrelin doesn't have, that Searknight does have, is Barbs. And Barbs is going to allow us to get some chip damage over the course of the game, and that chip damage is going to be really crucial to making progress in other teams. And for our TPs, this is very similar to Jamie's TPs. We're going to be running 56 speed, and this will allow us to outspeed Mud Spatter Venolins that are creeping -1 Valkyries, and we're going to also be creeping other things creeping that Venolin, so things like Obsidian and like other Searknights. We're also going to be running max range defense and then max HP to maximize our hit taking potential, and then 20 energy will give us 250 energy, which will work well with these moves. For example, we can use 5 Flaming Kicks and then one of these other attacks. And then lastly, we're going to be putting 24 points into melee attack as our leftovers. So for our next member, we're going to have Fiskarna. Fiskarna is going to be running that clever, nimble, very frail personality. And then for our item, we're going to be running Milkshake, which synergizes well with Recycle, which will allow us to re-equip our spent Milkshakes. And then for our attacks, we're going to be running Mudslide. Stratagem, Mudslide is going to help us remove hazards if they get up, and Regift also has the same idea. So we're going to be sending back those support moves. So if we switch this Fiskarna in on hazards, this is actually going to be bouncing those hazards back. And then Stratagem is going to make good use of our high range defense stat. And then Frost Beam is going to be to hit things like Gargolem and then things like Whippledrift. For our TPs, again, very similar to Jamie, we're going to be running 168 speed, which when paired with Nimble, this will allow us to outspeed any Tyrexes that you might see, unless they're running like Boots or very nimble. And we're going to be running max range defense again for Stratagem to maximize its power. And then we're going to be running 20 energy, which gives us 250 total energy, which will work well with these moves. For example, we can use 5 of these attacks and then 1 Frost Beam, or instead of 1 Frost Beam, we could also use 2 Recycles. And then all the remaining points will go into HP to maximize our bulk. Our next member is going to be Nevermare. We're going to be running that pure nimble personality, and then we're going to be running Power Cuffs. You could also run something like an Essence. As you can see with these energy points, this set will also work with Essence. For our ability, we're going to be running Razor Sharp, which will boost our crit hit rate. And then for our attacks, we're going to be running 3 slash moves. And as you know, slash moves have that high crit chance. So combined with Razor Sharp, this will give us an overall 50% chance to crit. And then Bulk Up will allow us to set up on other Loomians. Since we can crit through Obsidian's melee defense stacks, you can use this as like a trade for something like an Obsidian to make progress during the game. And then for our TPs, max attack, max speed, and then 56 energy, and then 36 health. 56 energy, again, will work well with these moves with both Power Cuffs and Essence. And then health, we will be putting 36 to give us an odd number of HP. Since we are a plant type, we are weak to those icicle traps, so we want an odd number of HP. And then the last 8 points will go into range defense. Our next member is Eclipse. Eclipse is a good ranged attacker, and it can match up well into things like Vesperatu, though you have to be careful for Slash, as it did get that as a rally move. We're going to be running very smart, tender, frail, with a light essence to boost our Gamma Pulse damage. Ability, obviously, we're going to want Total Eclipse, one of the best abilities in the game. But then for our moves, we're going to be running Dual Stab, and then Power Focus to boost our melee attack, just in case we need to flail. And then Raging Howl will be a good move for breaking through like ranged walls if we're set up. For our TPs, we're going to be running max ranged attack, max speed, and then 84 energy will give us 250 energy, which will work well with our dual stabs. and then 16 health will be a leftover. You can also put this 16 health into energy, and that'll allow your energy to reach 252, which will work well with Raging Howl and Dark Surge, but we're mostly clicking our dual stabs anyway, so that's not very necessary. Our next member is Shachi. Shachi is going to be a very good breaker. This combination of moves is like basically unresisted by any Loomian, so if you do outspeed them, you're most likely going to be firing off a very strong attack. We're going to be running the Mystic Wand. Mystic Wand will give us a Choice Specs boost without the Choice Specs part. So basically, we're going to be firing off very, very strong attacks. Very smart, just to maximize that damage. And then Foolish and Frail. Foolish over Sluggish because we do want to outspeed Loomians just so we can fire off those strong attacks. And then for our moves, again, we're going to be running this combination of moves. Basically unresisted, like Thunderstrike hits Stratosaur and then Pyrokinesis hits Tyrex. So basically you're just going to be hitting everything with very, very strong damage. Sharp Focus will allow us to have 100% accuracy on our foul chance, but this will also make our energy cost jump up to 50. Our TPs, these is very simple. Maximize our speed, maximize our range attack, and then 100 health. We're not going to be putting 4 into our energy because all of our moves are divisible by 2. Again, this does jump to 50. So we do already reach 250 by default, so this is going to be, optimal, and we're going to be putting those 4 into health just to, be optimal during like level 100 battles, basically. And then our next member is going to be Eliguana. So Eliguana, we're going to be using the very clever personality with Sluggish and Frail, and then our item is going to be Heavy Shield just to maximize our range defense. We're going to be using this Loomian for things like Zulong. So we're going to have the Lightning Rod ability just to absorb those electric attacks like Zip Zap and Thunderstrike. And also, since we have a Eclipse already, we don't really need to absorb light type attacks. We have Tase, Flash and Fleet, and Zip Zap. So these dual pivots are going to allow us to basically get in our attackers most of the time. The only thing that walls this combination is Boneki, and Boneki is walled by something like Nevermare, so Nevermare can get a free bulk up on that if they decide to come in. Tase is going to allow us to paralyze things, and then Rejuvenate is going to allow us to heal reliably. And then for our TP, so 20 energy will give us 237 energy, which will allow us to fire off 2 pivots, 1 Tase, and then 1 Rejuvenate with the Heavy Shield. And then we're going to be running max HP, max range defense, and then all the excess will go into range attack. And for our final Loomian, we're going to be running Obsidian with a very robust personality, Clumsy Sluggish, with Mysterious Dust so we can wake up from Beast Slumber, and also be healed of things like Poison and all that. And then for our moves, we're going to be running Mega Chomp and Body Crash. Body Crash to take advantage of our high melee defense stat, and Resilience will also play into that as well. So every time we are hit with a contact move, we will also be boosting our melee defense further. And then Drudge will allow us to become a sweeper if we have a lot of those melee defense stacks, so we'll boost our speed, and then we can fire off strong Mega Chomps and Body Crush. So this can be like a very good late game sweeper if your opponent is not prepared for it. And TPs, again, the 64 speed with Sluggish will allow us to speed creep those Venolins I was talking about earlier that are speed creeping the -1 Valkyries. And then we're going to be maximizing our melee defense and HP, obviously, and then 4 energy will give us 265 energy, which will allow us to fire off 5 of these attacks and then 1 Beast Slumber when we need to. And then all the rest will go into range defense. So what do these Loomians do? So Fiskarna, again, will be good for bouncing back hazards and also removing hazards as well. And this also deals with things like Pyro users like Boots Infernix and then Eruptodon. This Searknight will be good for dealing with Dragodyne, things like Eclipse, things like Seadrake, and then also opposing Nevermares. This Nevermare, again, will be good for Boneki. This will be good for Wrestlin, and you can also trade this for an Obsidian just to make progress against the stall team. And then Eclipse. Eclipse is a very strong range attacker, and it also matches up very well into Vesperatu. And then Shachi. Shachi is very weak to Vesperatu, which is why we have the Eclipse and the Obsidian. Shachi is going to be firing off very, very strong attacks, so this will allow us to make progress against the team, and this will also allow us to break through things like Venolin with their very strong mind type attacks. And then Eliguana is going to allow us to bring in our attackers using its pivot moves, and it's also going to force out things like Avatros and then things like Zulong, and it'll also bait in Boneki for things like Nevermare so we can get a bulk up off. And then Obsidian is going to be our premier melee tank, right? So we're going to be absorbing all of those melee hits from things like Hunter or things like Vesperatu if we don't bring to clips. And this will be a very good late game sweeper if you can get a Drudge off, because you're going to be having a lot of those melee defense stacks, and then you're also going to be boosting up your Mega Chomp with the Dragon Dance Drudge. So yeah, this is the Searknight team builder. I'm going to pause the recording until we can find a battle. Okay, so we do have a battle here. They're probably going to lead with the Gobodemic, so I think we want to lead with our Fiskarna here. They do have a Tatab, so I think I will bring Nevermare and Obsidian. Again, they also have the Wendelin. I think Cosmere 2 gets walled by Declip, so we will bring that. Himber, again, which is why we have the Obsidian. They have their own Searknight, and they also have a likely boost Nemore. I think I like this team, but I also kind of want to bring this for the Nemore. Yeah, so I think we'll do that. Okay, so they lead with a Tatab. Yeah, so they counter lead us, which is a little unfortunate. I think we can just go into Nevermare here, though. Yeah, I feel comfortable with that. I'm not sure what they would go into as a response, to be honest. Probably Searknight if I had to guess, yeah. Oh, it's Stretch? Okay, very interesting. I mean, they probably don't have Toxic Tail because it's like 50 base power. This probably will be the Searknight, but I don't think I can really do a whole lot about that. I mean, we could go into Obsidian, predicting that. I feel fine with that. Okay, yeah, so there is Searknight. They are terrifying. Okay, good to know. We will go into our Obsidian here. And then probably they'll go into Nemore or get Barbs up. I kind of want to Drudge. I guess we could Mega Chomp. They could just go for Barbs, to be honest. That seems like a good play, but we do have the Fiskarna, so I think we're just gonna Body Crash, see what they have. If they have Nemore, they'll probably go into it now. They have the Cosmere, okay. Yeah, this is gonna hurt us a little bit, so I don't really want to stay into that. I mean, this is probably Dust, so there's probably no point in tasing. They might be slower than us, to be honest. They go for the Peace of Mind. Okay, this might get out of hand pretty quickly. They're probably Weakness Policy, though. Either Weakness Policy or Dust. Okay, this is a little concerning. Okay, I think I want to Tase just in case, and then Flash and Flee into our Searknight. There's a Psycho Blast. Okay, not too bad. Okay, so we do get the Paralysis. We don't know if they're Dust yet, so I guess Searknight's not a terrible idea. Kind of want Flash and Flee, but also Tatab exists, so Zip Zap might be okay. I guess we will just Flash and Flee. And then nothing they click should threaten this Searknight too badly, so. Like, even if they get +3 from their Weakness Policy, I don't think it's too bad because we are the Metal type. So I think we're just gonna Slap down. And they are that Weakness Policy. Okay, so they go for the Slumber, which is kind of unfortunate, actually. If we can't break this in time, this is kind of hard for us, but we'll see. I don't really want to click Barbs here, just in case they are secret ability. Okay, that does a lot of damage though, so I'm pretty happy with that. I don't think they can ever beat us, to be honest. If they outspeed, maybe, because they can just set up with Peace of Mind and then Slumber off damage. But, like, they're putting themselves at big risk to be crit, so I think we're okay. Yeah, there's the crit. They're probably gonna have to click Slumber again, so I think we just hit them, and then if they do fall asleep, we can just click Rest and then keep going for crits. Psycho Blast, okay, not too bad. That's +3, I believe. Okay, so we do take out the Cosmere, which is like a really good pickup for us. They probably want to go into something like Tatab or maybe Gobademic to set up hazards. Yeah, there's a Tatab. We can simply just go into our Nevermare here, and like even if they go Searknight, we have like a lot of answers for that. We could also trade this for the Tatab, but I kind of want to save this for an Imore. Okay, they go for the Jungle Jutsu. I kind of want to get Chip on that Searknight, but I also want to go into Obsidian again, so we will just do that. It's a good middle ground. They probably just stay in here, huh? No, we're faster. Okay. Okay, so they go into that Searknight again. Okay, if anything, this is probably a Namore. If Cosmere was their only guy for this, they're kind of in a bad spot, so I think I will just Mega Chomp. This thing can't really threaten us too bad. Looks like they went for the Bards, which is a little unfortunate. Oh, they went for Searing Steel, okay. Okay, so if I were a baller, I could just go for Mega Chomp again, right, predicting their Namore, because they've given us a melee defense stack. So this is really threatening for them. So I'm just going to click the button, see what happens. Okay, so we get the Gobademic, which is not as good, but okay, that's a pretty bulky Gobademic, I feel. Okay, we could let them set up hazards in exchange for Chip, but I mean, I don't know how safe going directly into Fiskarna is, because I haven't done the calc, but we are pretty ranged defensive, so even if they do click Muck Blast, I don't feel too threatened by this. Okay, so they go for the Muck Blast. Wow, that did a lot. Okay, so we are gonna get poisoned, but we do have the Citrus Berry, so it's not as bad. I feel like they don't ever hit us again, right? Like, I feel like, I don't know. Like, I feel like Recycle isn't too bad, but we are poisoned, so we are gonna take a little more damage than before. Cause like, even if they do switch, what do they switch into? I'm not entirely sure. Maybe something like Wendelin, but we will go for the Mudslide here, see what happens. This is Tatab. Okay, so not our best play ever. Okay, so they have one more. Either Namore, they have Wendelin, or they have Himber. Have they shown Himber? I'm not sure. I don't remember at all. I mean, we always just go into our Nevermere here. Okay, so they're gonna go for that Timber Thrash, get some Chip. That's a lot of Chip, man. I was not ready for that. I feel like they just stay in. So I think we're just gonna Phantom Slash, see what happens. Yeah, okay. So what we've learned is that Nevermare is not good for Tatab, so we will just use Obsidian next time. I think if we manage to set up on this Nevermare, I think that's our win con. This is tricky, to be honest, but I feel like Obsidian's always our play here. Okay, so they are gonna go for that Will-O-Wisp. Yeah, so this is a very bulky Searknight. We do get that Dust, which is very helpful. I kind of want to just Mega Chomp again, to be honest. Oh, that was wonderful. I guess we can just go for Body Crash. Yeah, they do stay in. Okay, there's that. That's very good. They do have that Milkshake, but they aren't going to get that passive recovery from Health Amulet, so that's very good for us. They're going to go for the Slap Down here. I feel like Mega Chomp is probably the play here, but I feel like they also want to Will-O-Wisp again. But, I mean, like, I don't think Body Crash Okos anyway, so we'll just go for Mega Chomp. We do catch that Gopodemic again, which is very nice. Okay, we do get a critical hit, which is really helpful. If we can get Barbs up, I'm pretty sure this game is basically over. We do have to sack something. I don't think Eleguan will take too much damage, but we do risk getting poisoned. If they get Poison Barbs up, that's really unfortunate for us. We do get poisoned, unfortunately. I feel like they just switch into Tatib. So I think Zip Zap is always our play. Yeah, we don't really need this for anything else unless we do believe Mewmore exists, but I don't think they brought it. So we'll see. Okay, so we do get that Zip Zap. I forgot how low Searknight is, but I think we can just go safely into Nevermore. We'll see here, because we are going to crit, right? And I'm fairly certain crits bypass our own melee attack drops. So even if they do terrify us, I'm pretty sure we're fine. Okay, so they do go into that Himber. Okay, so this is their last. They don't have Wendelin. They don't have Mewmore. This is their amulet user. I mean, we can just sack Eliguana if we need to, but I don't think that's necessary. I think we go into this and we start healing. Ice Hammer. Okay. Hopefully this doesn't do too much. Okay. We don't get a resilience boost, which is a little scary, actually. If they have the Yeti's Wrath, we may die here. Oh, we are faster, which is very good. We don't have Dust anymore, which means we're likely just gonna heal up back to full health, which is very nice for us. They go for the Earthquake. I don't think any of Himber's moves are contact, which is good for him because he doesn't proc resilience. This looks like a very slow battle though, so if we can get barbs up, I think that'll greatly accelerate the pace of this game. Okay, so they're gonna switch out probably into something, yeah, Searknight. If we get our Searknight onto their Searknight, I believe we might be able to get barbs up because we know they're terrifying and they don't have that awakening, so they're gonna be doing a lot less damage. We sleep for one more turn, so I mean they could Will-O-Wisp, but I don't think it would work. We are faster than them, we know that. Okay, so they get their own barbs up, which is unfortunate for us, but we do have that Fiskarna in the back. I think Drudge here is our win condition, right? I think if we get either 3 or 4 Drudges off, we outspeed Gobademic. Oh, that was weird. Our energy just like drops randomly. I'm not sure if that's like a visual bug. We are just gonna go for that Drudge. Oh wow, that was really strange. I mean, yeah, if they want to get 3 layers of barbs, I'm like fine with that. Gobademic can't ever Oko us, and we do have speed boost and that fast speed slumber. So I mean, I feel safe doing this. So they are going to switch into that Himber. Okay, that's very interesting. I think they just want more hazards up, but I mean, like, do they really have anything to stop me from drudging up? I don't think so. I think that was 2 Drudges, so we'll try to get up to +4, and then hopefully by then we can Oko that Gobademic. I'm not sure how much health it's at. There's the Earthquake, not going to do much of anything, but it is non-contact, so it's not going to proc our resilience. We're going to Drudge, and then I suppose we'd rest here, because I'm pretty sure we outspeed everything in the game at this point. There's a Mudslide, which is a little strange. I guess hitting us on our range side. I'm not sure if Mega Chomp does more than... Oh, okay, so they do forfeit there. It's gonna be a GG. Yeah, I think that was a good game, despite my 2 voice cracks. But yeah, I think we're gonna leave the video off there. So, like, subscribe, do all the YouTube stuff, and I will see you guys later.